Welcome to Vision India Forum, sir. Justice K.G. Balakrishnan, former Chief Justice of India. Amrit Mahotsav series, sir. Good evening. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, today we will be talking about a very important subject. The subject is right to information, RTI. This is something which has changed the face of the entire democracy, the democratic setup of India, because now the answerability to the public at large is open, especially with respect to policies and issues which govern the country. Justice K.G. Balakrishnan is going to take us through the various provisions of RTI and the various reservations and controversies involved with RTI, especially when it comes to answerability of the top bureaucracy. Justice K.G. Balakrishnan is also involved with having held or having handled the RTI's applicability to the Supreme Court, the courts of jurisdiction. So, Justice K.G. Balakrishnan, sir, over to you. Please take us through the entire subject of RTI and enlighten us with the pros and cons with respect to this important, change that got effected a few years back.
Mr. Amit Goenka and dear friends, under our Constitution, Article 19(1)(a), we have got the fundamental rights to freedom of speech and expression. Freedom of speech and expression is meaningless unless we know what are things to speak out. We should know the rights, we should know the information, then only we can speak out. Till 2005, the common citizen were not able to know the details of the administration, the extent of the finance involved in any project. All these information were not available. So, what all things are happening in the government departments were not known to the common citizens. Then there was a public urge to see that the informations, all this government information passed on to the public, and public has got a right to know. There was a very powerful NGO in the state of Rajasthan. I remember they conducted a sort of small film saying that the large number of people were getting they were getting pension from the government department, but it was not really reaching them. It was being misappropriated by some government officials. So they must know who are the recipients of this pension. So such information they wanted to know, they published, and they came to National Human Rights Commission also to have advertisement regarding the people's right to information. And so there was a continuous agitation by the citizens to get a right to know the governmental activities. That is, with that background, the Right to Information Act was passed in 2005. So it has created a drastic change, and the citizens all over India filed applications, and the various provisions are made in the Act. There must be a public information officer, there must be, all applications should be filed, details, and the applicant should pay some court fee, and the fee should be fixed, and the answers should be furnished. The application should be furnished within reasonable date, all this information were given in the Act. So large number of applications were filed to various departments, and these various departments they have to give information, and if they fail to give information, then there is various provisions are made. When there is also there is wrong information is not given, then there is an appeal provision in the Act itself. They can file appeal that the information such and such a. If there is a wrong information, then also they have got a right of appeal. All these were given in the Act, and people, so many people made use of the right to Information Act. And I must also say, a group of people, even right to information activists, they also grew in the society. They were actively interested in the making application, the activists, and there were rivalries, and even it is said that about 50-60 murders happened. On account of the rivalry or enmity arose out of the Right to Information Act, and the matters furnished, and the information received by them were used by such people to tarnish the image of somebody. Then they got rivalry, and that also created a huge problem. But nevertheless, the governmental authorities, any activities of the government. What is government? That is also important. Any department of the government is a government authorities, and even some departments may not be fully governmental, but if deep and pervasive control, financial control over such institutions, then that also will be treated as the governmental authorities. Government, suppose a authority, which is, for example, Sports Council. It is not a government department, but a food corporation, not a government. Earlier, so many corporations are formed. These corporations are treated as government departments because there is deep and pervasive financial control of the government in these departments. So they are treated as the government authorities. Information could be gathered from them also. And earlier there was a decision that in 2000 prior to 2013 there was a decision that all political parties are they are also, because all governments are giving financial help to the political parties, so they are also coming under the purview of the RTI Act. So there were a series of questions. The Information Commission passed a decision that the political parties are coming under the purview of RTI Act. It created a big confusion and chaos. And in 2013, there was an amendment was passed, and it was held that the commission, if the political parties, the political parties do not come under the purview of the RTI Act. So that is otherwise the extent of contribution received, the extent of money spent, all these details would have been sought by the public, and they would have been forced to give such information. It is only after this amendment the political parties taken it was treated as not coming under the governmental authorities. Anyway, the information which was received by the various projects, and the details of the money spent, all these informations are available to the public. Sometimes they are also sometimes there was a very great controversy or criticism that many of the information received under the RTI Act are misused by the recipients of such answers, and they are used against their rivals. especially when there is a project, the project, when the tender information and all these are leaked out, and that created some problem. So that is also to be seriously considered. And there was a move to make an amendment. The applicant has to show the reasonableness for his applications. So, but that move was rejected by the government, because if that is so, the applicant should show the bona fides of his application. So, suppose that is on that ground, if there is no bona fide, there is no reasonableness in his application, that will be rejected. On that ground, any questions, any application could be rejected. So on that basis, this also was not taken care of. But many informations are received, especially the concerning projects and the various activities of the government, the details of the extent of money involved, and all these informations are now available under the RTI Act. That is a very great boon to the common man, because he becomes a part of this administration of the state. So it becomes it removes to a great extent the corruption. That is one thing. All this the administration state become more and more transparent, less corrupt, and participatory and accountable. People are themselves know the things, what is happening within how much time work will be over, how much of money is in all this information. So it is a participatory for the common man. These are all very great thing in a democratic setup. So otherwise, want to know this, that attitude is not. So when somebody is watching, then the officers will be less corrupt. Otherwise, so nobody is there to question. They will be more and more the liberal and spending money and misusing. Now they are a sort of accountability is there. Because of there is accountability, there is less corruption. That is the main. But it is also to be noticed that, but our investigating agencies, the Intelligence Bureau, the Revenue Intelligence, Enforcement Directorate, ITBP, Security, all these are not coming under the RTI Act, because they are the SPG, for SPG or Intelligence, CBI. All these functions cannot be revealed to the common man. So their activities are not coming under the RTI Act. Such a series of some 15, 20 organizations, their activities are not to be brought under the purview of the RTI Act. But intellectual property rights are also, they are sometimes not all intellectual rights, but intellectual property right also, there is some content, because they are the rights in personam of certain people who got these. So these are all the main features of the RTI Act. It has created a tremendous change in the public administration of this country. Prior to that, the people were unaware of the various activities going on within the four corners of the governance of the country. Now the people have got a right to know, and that is being widely used. Well, nearly within 10 years, about 1,75 lakhs applications are received by the various departments in this country. So also the various that means the people are aware and made use of these their right, and information is received. It is to a great extent was a right extension of the principles of right, the expression, free speech and expression guaranteed under the Constitution, Article 19(1)(a). It is that right has become fruitful, effective, and the constitutional right, encouragement, enforcement of the constitutional right, that is the RTI Act. This act is based on some of the act prevalent in some other country, but we have I can say we have got a better act than many of the information that is being given by other countries. For example, the appointment of judges in many countries, though the appointment process is open, but the informations are not given by the ministry for only after sometimes after the retirement of the particular judge, such information. In England also, it is not very liberal. The Right to Information Act is not very liberal as we have in India. So we have got only thing that the citizens should be conscious of their rights and should be careful in making use of the rights. When there is a right, there is also a possibility of misuse. And we should be careful not to misuse it. And we shall not encourage the misuse such provision. Of course, there may be activists, but activists also, professional activists shall not work for the benefit of somebody else to furnish wrong information and create this problem for them. So these are all very, very important things. So one has to be careful, and the act is still working, kicking and working. So that is the RTI Act. People are making use of it. And I am glad that you have selected a subject which a common man is very anxious to know many of these provisions to RTI Act. Thank you, Mr. Ram.
How to file an RTI?
So applications are some court fee is fixed. You can give the details of the application, details of the documents required, and you can give applications to the concerned information. Every officer, there will be a public information officer. So you can submit applications to him, and the requisite fee also, if there are large number of pages are required to be copied and given to you, there may be the fee may be accordingly a little more higher.
Is it state-wise?
No, not state-wise. Department. Every officer, every government office has got one information officer. For example, in the revenue, the taluk office, there will be an information officer. NHRC has information, not only information officer, because the large volume of applications received, they have also appointed consultants. Some of the 2-3 retired officers are appointed as consultants so that there shall not be any delay in giving the answers. So they are engaged and temporarily they are engaged by the office.
Is the office of the CIC the central office for this particular mechanism? Central Information Commissioner Office?
Central Information Officer is there. If the state information officer appeal is rejected, he can file appeal to the Central Information Officer. So that is there is appeal provision, so that
that is for the appeals.
Appeals.
Is the Prime Minister's office covered under RTI?
Prime Minister's office, most of these are just like intelligence, CBI and revenue intelligence, enforcement directorates and all these. So such informations are not available from the Prime Minister's office. But you can, but sometimes you can have general questions, how many ministers are there, or some general questions you can answer. But the details of the activities, because they are the Prime Minister is responsible to the parliament. So there is another mechanism is there. So that is RTI, it is not coming within the purview of the RTI. RTI, they will not reveal to the applicant most of the information.
Oh, for example, schemes like PM Cares, where crores of contribution was made during COVID. If somebody wanted to know about the utilization of the PM Cares, contributions, what would be the process?
No, such informations are not available from the PM's office.
Okay, it is generally from the departments.
Yes.
And the public sector undertakings.
Public sector undertaking, corporations, which government has got financial control.
And what about the jury, the courts? There was a particular case wherein I think you were also handling it, that courts are outside the jurisdiction of RTI.
No, courts are not outside the jurisdiction of the RTI. The courts, whether pendency of the cases and all, what is that? But such questions are very rarely asked. So now even the appointment of judges, the collegiums decisions, they are published. There is also a provision that they should make a publication of some of this. So such a
so institutions like media who are the pillars of democracy, do you think they should be brought under RTI even if they are under the private sector?
Private sector is not coming under the purview of the RTI, and the media is not under control of the government. Government has no financial control over them. So then RTI Act is not applicable to media. If the government has got a particular channel or particular the media, so such sometimes may come under the purview of RTI. But the other media, it is not under the control of the government. Government is not paying anything to them.
Oh, and the information received from the RTI, is it admissible in the courts of law?
Certainly, they are right to information. Any answer received by that is a primary evidence. It could be filed in court.
Okay, that is what basically a common man has to understand. I hope that important institutions are also allowed to be covered under the RTI, because directly or indirectly, the government and the powerhouses do have control over such institutions which impact the society. And RTI should also be covering such important institutions so that the spirit of democracy can benefit in spirit from the RTI Act, which was brought in 2005, and then the amendments were made. Any final recommendations for RTI, sir, as the former Chief Justice of India, to the government?
Not final recommendations. It is working well. So if at all there is any problem faced by these, the only amendment which was sought by the applicant should be reasonable and bona fide application. But I don't think that such on that ground, most of the application would be rejected. That is also rightly not thought of by the parliament. So now the system is working. Unless we have got a very serious problem, why should we go for amendment?
Time limits?
Time limits is there. Time limits is there. For the appeal also, the appeal disposal of the appeal, and the time limit is there for answering the application. Normally it is 30 days, I think.
Oh, that is very reasonable. Thank you, Justice Saab. It is a very important subject, and I hope that people, after this particular detailing by your Honorable former Chief Justice, people in the social media will take resort to such beautiful dialogues between us, so that they can benefit from this beautiful provision to safeguard their interests in this very, very large and complicated democracy. Thank you so much, sir. Jai Hind, see you again.
Thank you.